felt a little bit empty, right? Yes, it reestablished the character. Yes, it gave us like a true Punisher moments that I've said it. John is the best Punisher we've ever had in live action. Yeah, that's right. We're rocking it. This is Inside the Punisher. One last kill review. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, the Punisher now. These are characters that I followed since the Netflix shows. Right? We've seen them cross over. We've seen them have their own series. We've seen them in everything. There's a connection to these characters that we have. And it spans across years now. Just a side note, it has nothing to do with anything right now. I did a Daredevil review not too long ago. I was hearing that Danny Rand, or whatever his name was, Iron Fist, might be in the next Daredevil season. And he's the one character from the Netflix Marvel shows that I just didn't vibe with at all. But that's besides the point. We're here for the Punisher. To start us off here, it was gruesome. It was gory. And to be honest, I was left at the end feeling like we were just getting started and it was over. Obviously, this isn't the last we've seen of the Punisher because he's going to be in the new Spider-Man film. But what we got here was kind of interesting. So let's start with the general plot points. Remember, even though these plot points are general, I feel like anytime you say anything about the plot, there's going to be some spoilers in there. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not spoiler free. All right, well, I'll get into full spoilers after this, but these are the general plot of what we saw in The Punisher: One Last Kill. So we're in Little Sicily, a lawless area. We hear something about a crime family that is dead. Presumably, allegedly killed by Frank Castle, as they have ties or directly involved in his family's murder. And apparently that was his one last kill, which wasn't shown in this film. It just already happened, and he was kind of just living or not living, or deciding whether he was going to live or not, because he is struggling with his mental health. A disabled woman approaches him in this, and she asks for help, but we find out she's a surviving member of that crime family that he killed, and puts a bounty on him, which sets up the whole thing, the whole special presentation of this film. I'll leave it at that for the plot. But now we're about to get into complete spoilers for unbridled, just everything here directly. So here we go. I want to talk about the opening of this thing. We see an older guy and his dog, and a group of, I don't know, you call them thugs, you can call them whatever. This whole place is just full of crime, and people are just doing general crime on the street. In fact, you see like a police car pull up, and they start like attacking a police car, and the police car backs up and tries to leave and run away. So that's how bad the crime is here. They assault this old man, pick up his dog, and then throws him in front of a truck and kills the dog. And that's how this thing starts. And I always say the cheat code to get emotion out of people is to involve a dog, right? Harm a dog in some way, and you'll get a lot of emotion out of a lot of people. And that's how this thing started. Frank is seeing faces of his past as he sits in this apartment complex. As I said, in the general plot, he's struggling with his mental and he's seeing all these things. And presumably, he's thinking about ending it all. Right? He goes to his family's gravesite and he's thinking about ending it all. Now, getting back to that disabled woman who was a part of that crime family, she puts a bounty on his head. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is Frank effing Castle, right? Are you going to let this person just sit here and say these things to you and not do anything? Yes, I know she's old. Yes, I know she's disabled. But yeah, she brings up that Frank killed all of those people who were part of her family, and she admits that they were a part of some bad things. But Frank killed one of them that apparently was her like rock, an innocent member of that family. That kind of got to her. That kind of sent her on this warpath to make sure she watches Frank Castle die. So after saying that, I was saying, when I was watching this, I was like, why don't Frank Castle he doesn't give a F about anything anyway. Why don't he just kill her? right there. But I'm talking myself into it while I'm sitting here discussing this, that if that person was innocent, and we have no way of knowing, we're just believing what she's saying, and she's part of this crime family, and she's doing something that is not moral here either, by paying people off to come to that complex and not only go after Frank Castle. They're looking for Frank, but they're pillaging and murdering and hurting and assaulting people in the complex as well. So there's a lot of moral gray there. To say that Frank killed an innocent person, she wants revenge. Just like Frank is the Punisher, he's been wanting revenge and he just takes people out. Like superheroes, mostly they don't kill, right? Most of them, Punisher kills. But anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on that point. But yeah, there was a lot of gruesomeness in this. Like there was times where I just cringed at some of the kills, the gruesomeness, the goriness of what happened. I had to I probably was making this face a lot when certain things happen. And in this thing, Frank was just mowing through people. I mean, it reminded me of a video game, right? We think of Frank is on the right side of the law, even though he's doing things that is basically against the law, right? Just going out and killing people, whether they deserve it or not, is not supposed to be how we do things, right? They're supposed to be judged first and, go through the system. But Frank just takes the law into his own hands and he deals out the punishment. But I'm thinking about playing like Uncharted or something. While I was watching this, I was like, how many people in that video game, if you play the Uncharted games, like Nathan Drake is supposed to be not the antagonist, but the protagonist of that game. If you played every single one of those games, I mean, literally, can you say that maybe he's killed like 1,000 people? Definitely hundreds for sure throughout the 4 video games that he was in. So this seemed kind of video gamey to me. Frank Castle was like just mowing through people. He's one person. All of these people are here to get this bounty, and he's just killing them all, one by one. There was a point where we get to when Frank is on the street. He's kind of left the complex, and he's down the street a bit, and you hear like the daughter of the coffee shop person, which we saw earlier in this film, yelling out for her dad, who's getting beaten in front of the shop. And obviously, it's kind of a call back to Frank and his daughter. Like he's kind of hearing and seeing his daughter in that moment. And he goes into that coffee shop and, of course, kills the thugs, beats them down. And this is one of those scenes, especially that last kill he got in that coffee shop, that I was like cringing over. Saves the family by killing all of those people. Kind of a soft moment when the daughter gives him that flower. It's kind of the moment that he goes back to the gravesite with his family and tells them that he may want to go on with life. Even in his like delusions, Karen is one of those delusions that tells him, I think, that he has more to do. And maybe in that moment when that little girl gave him that flower, he accepted that he has more to do before his time is up. And at the end of this, he's back in the skull, and punishment is dealt out to that dog killer at the end. He's just as that guy was about to attack somebody else. I think he had a bat in his hand. He was about to swing at a person. Frank takes him down, and you know what Frank Castle does. And then it ended right there. And in that moment, I was like, wow, it's over already? Yes, I looked at the runtime before the show started, and it didn't feel like it was 50 minutes. It went by so fast. Like, I swear, it felt like it was like 20 minutes, 30 max. So at that moment when it got there and the credits were rolling, I was like, it's over already? Because in my mind, it didn't felt like there was at least 20 minutes left in the show. Right? Because it went by so fast, I thought we were just getting started. But it ended right there. Now, I was kind of left feeling, I felt a little bit empty, right? Yes, it reestablished the character. Yes, it gave us like a true Punisher moments that I've said it. John is the best Punisher we've ever had in live action. He serves the character well. All of that. But I don't know, I was left feeling incomplete after this one. Yes, everything we saw here was good, I thought, but it just felt abrupt. And that alone probably affects the score for me. I've seen some reviews posted. I saw the thumbnail for like Angry Joe, for instance, and he had like 10 out of 10. Maybe it was in a question mark. I haven't watched it yet because I have to film mine before I watch any reviews, because I don't want like watching somebody else's review influence like what I think, you know? I want to get my thoughts out filmed, and then, because I'm excited to watch some of these reviews now. Like, there's a couple of reviews I want to watch and see what they thought. But I want to get my thoughts, my raw thoughts out before anybody else can influence me. Because sometimes I'll watch a review and I'll say, okay, I missed that. They have a point there. Sometimes I'll completely disagree. But that's what this is all about. It's just an open forum, open discussion, and everybody has their own taste of what they like and what they don't like. To me, everything doesn't have to make perfect sense all the time. I can suspend my disbelief enough. And for others, if one little thing is like off or doesn't make sense, they make a big deal out of it. But that's not, I could forgive some things and kind of look past it. But again, we're off subject again. Let's get to the final score here. The Punisher One Last Kill, I gave a 7.8, which is good on the Hex scale. I thought it was good for what it was, but it felt like I can't help but to feel like an incomplete feeling. I felt like we got just like a portion, a day in the life of the Punisher, so to speak. And that was it. It's like the cameras could be here for one day and one day only, and as if it was a reality show. And after this, it's over. So I would have, obviously, I think a lot of us would have liked a little bit more, but it was what it was. I enjoyed it. Can't wait to see him in the future in Spider-Man and whatever else he's in. And we'll see where it goes from there. Once again, I gave it a 7.8 as a final score. Until next time, I'm JohnHexx, and I am